Hey there, Mysterious Jackson here from the Mysterious Show here. And what I'm going to talk about today is my full review on WWE 2K23. Okay. So, being that I've actually got to play it 3 days earlier like last year, I've actually had a chance to play it and experience for the full time, and I'd have to say I like it. There's not too many things I don't like about it. I'll get into the things I don't like about it later. But what I like about it is the showcase mode is lengthy, and it is about John Cena, but you're not playing as John Cena, you're playing as his opponents and the people that beat him. And that's a fresh take. And they still brought the documentary style type to the showcase, where the cover star is the narrator. And I like that style of showcasing. And it's a challenge. And it's a good leeway considering the fact that this game is going to have 265 playable wrestlers, including DC. But from base game, it's over 200. And there are some playable wrestlers from the previous game that make a return, such as Trish Stratus, Stacy Keibler, Cactus Jack, Dunk the Clown, Boogeyman, Booker T, who else makes a return? Tyler Breeze, and many others. The only people that don't make a return is because they're no longer in the company or had done any TV time is Naomi, aka Trinity Fatu, Mandy Rose, because she was unfairly released due to something that WWE cleared her for. I'll get into that later. Sasha Banks, because she's working in New Japan Wrestling as Mercedes Moné. Mercedes is her real name. The Monet part is a character name.
Every time I go to do something, it keeps shutting me out.
It's probably the servers.
No, I'm doing awful. And then it sent me out the first time, so I went to do story mode and it sent me out too.
Oh shit. And here's another thing. They've really focused on the realism this time around. And another good thing is that My Rise has an ending now. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably like, Mysterious, WWE 2K22, My Rise had an ending too. And I can attest to that. It doesn't end. My nephew can also tell you that it doesn't have an ending because I beat it the first day that I got 22 and it doesn't have an ending. And the reason for that is because stupid Vincent Kennedy McMahon was butthurt over Bray Wyatt, so he took him out of the game because he was released, and so they took that ending out. So there was no The Fiend story mode or the Fiend character. You had to get him and his moveset through community creations, which is stupid because you have his moveset in the game already, and then you have his entrance and theme in the game already. But you took him out of the game just because you didn't like what he represented because he cost too much money. He was the one that made you all the money when WWE was in the shit show, when WWE almost went out of business due to the fact that there was no crowd during the pandemic era. Him and Alexa Bliss was saving you money and making you money on top of that. And that's the only thing I didn't like about my rise in WWE 2K22. And due to the fact that 23 My Rise has an ending, you get to play it all the way through, and you get to use the character outside of the mode after you beat the mode. The one thing I wish they had kept in there is the ability to choose your character's backstory. Because in 22, your character had a option where you can choose a backstory where they could be a pro athlete, which was either a soccer player, a football player, or a basketball player, transferring to the wrestling business. And you could be a mixed martial artist, a movie actor, or an actress, and etc., etc. That's the only thing I didn't like about it. But what I do appreciate for this year's My Rise is that the story isn't all over the place. And the side quests don't really feel wacky and all over the place and out of nowhere. And you being a heel actually matters this time around. Like, when you pretend to be a heel, when you're a heel in 22, she says heelish things, but you don't really act like a heel. You do heel tendencies, but you don't stay a heel for that long. Like, they make you choose to be a heel or a babyface. And when you're a heel, there is consequences. And when you're a babyface, there's consequences for you being a babyface. And they force you to make the turn. And I was like, well, that makes no sense. And this was in 22, but in 23, when you're a heel, it matters. And the choices you make matter. And what I like, there's barely any glitches that were noteworthy of reporting. And I do like the fact that they base it on John Cena to a point where when you're the male person for your My Rise, they make you like the prototype generic tape wrestler, and they call him the Lock. You don't stay the Lock for that very long. Although I do wish they had a storyline where you get to choose if you get to join the bloodline or not, or betray them. But although it was a good My Rise, considering the fact that it had an ending, unlike 22. And speaking of that, Bray Wyatt came back to the company. I really feel that they should have put him back in the 22 and put the ending back in. And people was asking me about Mandy Rose. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts. I respect her as a wrestler. I liked her as a wrestler. Do I feel that she needed to be released or fired, essentially, because of what she did and what they were cleared for? I mean, and what I mean by they, I mean the company. They cleared her for doing that. And you just gotta bow to him.
Bro.
And do I feel that, she should have been released because of the sexual and provocative photos that was on her fan type website? Hell no. I mean, because the pictures that she had on that site, they weren't harmless. She did the disclaimers right. She did everything right. And I personally think they shouldn't have released her and scrapped her from the game entirely, doing us to where the point where somebody has to hack into the game files and download her model and moveset and put it into the game when she was already scheduled to be in the game, and the MyRaz was supposed to be centered around her for the females. They could have had 3 story modes for MyRaz, and I personally think they shouldn't have released her. And people asked me the other day, how do I feel if she was to go to AEW? I wouldn't be bothered by it, but I'd be disappointed. Because AEW already has enough of WWE talent over there. And I really don't feel that she needs to go there, because Tony Khan does not know how to book his talent. And with Triple H under the helm, I think he knows what he's doing. And I personally think they should let Mandy Rose back in the company. And if she does get released into the company and back in to WWE, they should put her down as DLC for the MyRise and as a playable character. I mean, her moveset is already in there, and her entrance is in there as well. You just gotta look for the motions. And how I personally feel about this, WWE, I love you guys as a company, but you guys need to pick when the right moment is to release someone versus releasing someone just because you feel like you need to save money. Release somebody for racist comments. Release somebody for doing inappropriate conduct. And what I mean by that is, the only person I feel that needs to be released is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. I never liked him. He is a predator, and he just needs to go away. And how I feel about him in the company, he just needs to go. Triple H knows what he's doing. He's 77 years old, about to be 70. Just a couple years, he's going to be 80. He doesn't need to be in the company anymore. Like, he's had his time. He's had his moment. He knew what he was doing back then, but now it's time for him to move over and have Triple H take over the business. And to be honest with you, I have nothing against WWE or AEW. But for those who was hitting me up on my Twitter before my phone was acting weird, I am not an AEW hater. I love WWE more, yes, but I also love AEW. But I am not a fan of people being forced to choose which wrestling companies they should like. I've had so many people tell me I should like AEW over WWE. That that makes no sense. I like both. I like WWE more because there's a history there. And yes, AEW's been around for a couple years, but they've only been around since 2019. WWE has been around for over 60 years. And a lot of the wrestlers that I like, they're still over there, and some of them I have history with because I watched some of them when I was in high school. Like Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss. I've watched both of them since I was 22 and 23 years old. I was still in high school. Back when Alexa Bliss used to be a ring announcer before she was a wrestler. And I remember when Liv Morgan wasn't even Liv Morgan, she was Marley Martin back then. And she used to be wrestling at NXT back when Triple H and Shawn Michaels was in charge. But my thing is this.
Hope your mom will drive safe.
My thing is this. For those of you who keep saying, "Oh, I should like AEW more," yes, they're uncensored, but there's a lot of things that they can't do that WWE can. And for those of you who keep saying that, go find something better to do, please, because I'm sick of addressing it. But that don't mean I won't. But let it be known, I'm a fan of both. Yes, I love WWE more because they have a lot more games to play. And I'm sick of waiting for Fight Forever to come out. And it's something over something so small when they already got clearance to use the name, talking about, oh, they don't have clearance to use the Fight Forever name when they clearly did. And when I told all of you that this was going to happen, and am I looking forward to playing the game when it comes out and I get it? Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it. But what I will not stand for is people coming at anyone for liking something they want to like. And then when you're getting to the point where you have to constantly come at me or want to make jokes because I like a certain company over than the other, well, if that's what helped you sleep tonight, sweet dreams. But note, each time you guys troll me or try to come at me, I'm getting bread off of this. So the more you guys keep trolling me, I'm just going to keep making off of your misery and keep making money off of it. So that's what I got to say about that. And for those who've been riding with me and sticking through it, I appreciate you all. And I will be getting back into business soon once the phone and stuff gets situated, because It's just not fair, and the fact that constantly has to keep going through it, it's just not fair and annoying. And I'll see you soon, and stay subscribed, and I appreciate your patience. I'll see you later.